wake up, sunshine, it's a brand new day. Brad's got the stories that'll light your way. Take a smile on his face, he's ready to share. Share. Good morning, Marianas. Feel the love in the air. Yeah. Good morning, Marianas. Come join the fun. Together we'll shine like the morning sun.
With the waves crashing in, hear the oceans call. Brad brings the news that connects us all. From the islands to the world, goes the kind of wish. Good morning, Marianas, the best time of year.
Good morning, Marianas. Let's start the day. With laughter and stories, come what may.
Hey bro, can I grab your bush?
Yeah, man, go for it.
Right on. Thanks, bro. Hey bro, can I grab your bush too?
Sure, bro. Go ahead.
Thanks.
Now I can grab my own bush. Saipan, it's time to grab your bush. Pick up a 12-pack of ice-cold bush, and you're in for more than just a refreshing beer. Every 12-pack gives you a chance to win exclusive bush gear and more. So don't wait. Swing by your favorite store, grab your bush, and join the fun. Because here in Saipan, the best moments are even better with Bush. Grab your bush today.
AP News, I'm Haya Panjwani. House Speaker Mike Johnson is doubling down on the need for better policy for healthcare as the government shutdown continues.
If you look at it objectively, you know that it is subsidizing bad policy. We're throwing good money at a bad, broken system, and so it needs real reforms. The reason it was never appropriate or never possible to be resolved on a simple CR, stopgap funding measure, is because it's very complicated to fix. But Republicans have a long list of ideas.
AP correspondent Marcela Sanchez reports on another Republican governor following President Trump's call to redraw congressional maps.
Indiana Republican Governor Mike Braun has called a special session for lawmakers to redraw congressional districts. President Trump has ramped up pressure on Republican governors to give the party an easier path to maintain control of the U.S. House. Republicans in Texas and Missouri moved quickly, and California Democrats responded with their own redistricting plan. Republicans hold a supermajority in both chambers. Opponents are expected to challenge any new maps in court. I'm Marcela Sanchez.
Russia is defending its test of a nuclear-powered missile, which it claims cannot be stopped by air defenses. The AP's Sagar Meghani.
7 years after revealing work on the missile, Vladimir Putin announced a test yesterday of what NATO has codenamed Skyfall. That came after tough U.S. sanctions on Russia's energy sectors and new European commitments of military aid for Ukraine. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov says the test shows Russia's ensuring its own security, but President Trump's blasting the announcement.
I don't think it's an appropriate thing for Putin to be saying either.
Saying the Russian leader should be focused on ending the war.
That's what he ought to do instead of testing missiles.
Sagar Meghani, Washington.
This is AP News. A small group of Afghan refugees are returning to international soccer.
Some 4 years after players from the Afghanistan women's national soccer team fled their homeland amid the Taliban's takeover, a number of the teammates are representing their country once more in an international soccer competition, only this time as refugees. The tournament represents a first major step in the fight to be officially recognised as a national team on the global stage. Collectively, the women call themselves Afghan Women United. FIFA, soccer's international governing body, is staging a 4-team tournament in Morocco that includes the refugee team along with Chad, Libya and Tunisia. The FIFA Unites Women's Series 2025 started on Sunday. Charles de Ledesma, London.
Stocks climbed more records ahead of a week packed with potential market-moving events for Wall Street. The S&P 500 rose 1.2%. I'm Haya Panjwani, AP News.
As the day unfolds with laughter and cheer, Brad's got the magic that brings us all near. Sharing tales of hope, dreams that shine bright. Good morning, Marianas, together we ignite. So join the palm trees, we dance through the days. The rhythm and soul in so many ways. Together we rise through the moments we share. Good morning, Marianas, feel the love everywhere. Wake up to the sunshine in the morning light. Good vibes all around, everything feels right. Brad on the show, bringing joy to our day. Into the Marianas breeze, let the worries drift away. Yeah, that was the air. Connection grows stronger. We show that we care. Rock on, feel the soulful flow. Look right on in Mariana, that's where you belong. The sweet island breeze and the ocean's embrace. Brad's got the stories, sunlight repays. Southside meditated, fall in this ride. Yeah, we're shining with love as our guide. So raise your voices high, let the music
the Jam, Ena's Kitchen. Good morning, Marianas. It is Tuesday here in sunny Saipan. Man, this week has gotten better and better after a rough and sketchy weather weekend. We ended up having a great day to start this one off, and I'm loving it. Right now, well, almost as much as McDonald's these days, you know. 83 degrees outside at the Saipan International Airport right now. Looking at isolated showers, mostly sunny skies. High near 87. Did you hear that? Mostly sunny skies. We're going to have the same thing today. If you really want mostly sunny, you can go to Ena's Kitchen and say hey to Sunny and the team over there, getting you all kinds of great grub. I love those guys. They're a lot of fun to hang out with, and man, they're just genuinely nice. When do you normally get to see all the kitchen staff who are also the serving staff, who are also everything, and they're pleasant and damn good at what they do? That's what makes me happy whenever time I go there. Well, that and the lunch special whenever I go to Ena's Kitchen. It's a good deal. It's a good grub for me every time. Never been disappointed. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I have been. I'm laughing. Also looking in the comments, seeing you guys in there, because I saw Louisa was talking about, she's driving down the road. Some guy drives past her this morning and shouted, "Go Bills!" It was her uncle. That is awesome. By the way, your uncle sounds like an awesome guy. Maybe one of the best I've ever heard of. I know, right? That's what's going on. But hey, speaking of people who are driving on the road, let's get you out there to find out what's happening with the roads as you're on your way to work this morning. That's one of the big things that everyone's interested in, and I'm interested in making sure you get there safely. So let's find out what is going down in Traffic Town thanks to Transit CNMI. Here we go. That is your first look. We are right over there by Shell Dandan, and you can see there's quite a bit of traffic everywhere between NMC and Shell Dandan, but that's par for the course at 7:42 in the morning. How about the intersection that matters, where connections matter, over by IT&E? People are slowing down over at that intersection because they want to get a glimpse of Paul and ask him, "Paul, what kind of shampoo do you use, man?" Anyway, they go down Beach Road, and everything's looking pretty smooth all the way down there to Route 32 by WSR. What's that? Yeah, Chalumpialville. Everything is great over there. My goodness, what is going on? Are people taking helicopters to work today because it looks too easy? John Monsignor Martinez is looking pretty chill all the way down until you get about Dajon Drive. That's the little creeper road where you can kind of sneak behind Joten Dandan to merge over to the road out there, but closer to Mango 6. How about moving around to San Vicente, where there are canaries aplenty? That's right, there are a lot of cars over there trying to get the San Vicente Elementary School students into those buildings, safe and sound. So give them a break out there, guys. You don't want to be the one who smushes a canary. You'll never let yourself live it down. All right, we're zooming around the Back Island Road right now, where it looks like an absolute dream. It's a real dream when you get all the way down to Ena's Kitchen. What is their their lunch special today? I don't know, but maybe we should go check it out. As you make your way down south along Middle Road, things are looking a little bit congested for folks who are heading toward the MH2 and MH1 facilities over there by the old troop store. Is definitely slowing down, and by the pickleball courts / tennis courts over by AMP, there's a little bit of traffic in every direction right now as well. Where you're going to see a lot of cars right now at the home of the Mallards, Garapan Elementary School, is going to be a place where people are doing a whole lot of dropping off of those little ducklings. So be careful out there. And just expect that slowdown. When you get into Garapan over there by JG's Sublime Ice and Water, it's going to be slow for folks who are trying to head north with an F. That's right. All right, let's keep looking down Middle Road right now, where you get out in front of Bravo. It's slowing down for folks who are heading north, actually, on Middle Road. Of course, it's going to slow down when you get by Docomo. And I'm not just talking about their service. I'm talking about traffic, baby. When you get over there, sorry, guys. When you get over there in both directions, it is definitely slowing down when you're getting a lot closer to that whole area by Shell and Docomo and Pizza Hut and everything. There's just a lot of traffic over there, and of course big bus stops. That slows folks down. And be smart when you're driving out there. It is school season, and school season means you need to be cognizant of everything that's going on around you. And when those flashing lights come on, that's when you step on that brake and let those kids get on and off the bus. Oh, hey, speaking of the bus, you don't have to worry about traffic at all as long as you're getting on Transit CNMI. Transit CNMI is the award-winning hometown public transportation system that is raising eyebrows all across the United States because they won the national award for a small rural market as the top public transit system. Can you believe that that's what we've got in our hometown? That's right, and they're just getting started, and they're going to keep getting better. The Blue Line gets you everywhere you need to go, from Coblerville, Toteville, all the way to the Paseo, and they're going to eventually expand, but that's where we're at right now. $2 between 6:30 in the morning, 8:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, weekends and holidays, 6:30 to 8 p.m. And guess what? If you're a student, a veteran, active duty military, senior citizen, yep, Manamco, or if you've got disabilities, that's only $1 per ticket. And make sure you're paying an exact change. That's right. There's no registers. There's just drivers. And you can find out more about what they got going on at 236-2682 for the line that is blue. We're looking live right now at where those buses are. There's one heading south over there by Mount Carmel, and there's one heading north over there by Chalumpiao, over there by Hopwood. And then there's one just kind of hanging out in reserve, waiting just in case it's called upon. It's like it's the reserve player on the sidelines, hoping the coach calls him in. The only thing is they're also hoping the coach doesn't have to call him in, because they don't want to have to worry about having an issue because they're there just in case there is an issue. But right now, that's a problema when it comes to Transit CNMI. All right, folks, that's your first look at traffic and weather here in the CNMI. And, man, we've got lots of fun stuff to do today. But I want to say hi to you guys first. Elena Dos, that's great to see you. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Great to see you. Got a new commenter over there on the YouTube side, 671, Far From Home. And that's all right. We're holding it down for you over here in the NMI. Jack Bucas, thanks for tuning in today. Great to see you. Thanks for joining us again today. Tobat Castro, that's right, baby. It is Game 3 tonight at 10 a.m. Chamorro Standard Time. So you are just a couple hours away from seeing what happens when the Dodgers and the Blue Jays go to California. That should be a good one tonight. Luisa Cabrera, oh my God, MVP. It was great to see you in person last night as we were calling the game over at Tonko Palacios Field. Speaking of which, the Cardinals just ripped the Falcons. It was a great game. The Cardinals took the lead early, but the Falcons came back and had what looked like a pretty good lead. They were up 4-2, and then all of a sudden, all hell broke loose. And the Cardinals scored 7 runs in the 5th inning and never looked back. Each team scored a couple of runs going down after that. Score ended up 12-6 as we look forward to Game 2 tomorrow night at Tonko Field. The Falcons will be the home team that time, so we'll see what happens. Some great performances all around. But, man, Michael Brownstein, he was perfect at the plate. He was 5 for 5, and then his 6th at-bat, he got hit. So the pitchers finally got their revenge on him. Great outing, though, by Ricky Joe Ringel, who went almost all the way. And when I thought they were going to pull him in that 7-run 5th inning, they stuck with him. And he came back and battled and had a real great performance. So well done, Ricky Joe. You didn't get to win on the night, but it was pretty good. JJ Salmon, great to see you this morning. I know you're working just down the street from us and around the corner, and thanks for joining us again. PJ Victoria in the house, all the way from the Pacific Northwest. PJ from PN Dubs. That's pretty much how that goes. Bruce Camacho, he's like, Brad, you got to check out the video I sent you. Man, dude, I'm telling you, I'm not joining your OnlyFans. Like, I could. I mean, who wouldn't want to join Bruce Camacho? That's to be the survey put up. Would you join Bruce Camacho's? Would you subscribe to Bruce Camacho's OnlyFans? What do you want to call Only Bruce's? I don't know if I want to see little Bruce's. Good morning, Sophia Beneventi. Thank you for tuning in this morning. Great to see you. And, oh, my goodness, who else is that? Eric Mofnas, my veteran brother, in the house. This guy, Volunteer of the Year. What a great guy. Everybody loves Eric Mofnas. And if they don't, it's because they haven't met Eric Mofnas. Ebenita, dos Estarosa say that was pretty quick. That's on the fly. Great to see you. Thanks for joining us this morning. Really, thank you for tuning in. And Gina Nabatinen? Yes, Gina Nabatinen. I got to be slow and figure it out first. Thank you for tuning in. I'm so glad that you're here with us today, for sure. Subligson08, great to see you. Thanks for joining us again. Man, I see you all the time. Yeah, hashtag only Bruce. That's what it is. Only Bruce. That's the description of what you're going to see. There's not a fashion show. He's not talking about food. You're just getting Bruce. Only Bruce. Hashtag only Bruce. I'm telling you, he is the eye candy now for the Public Utilities Commission. That's why they got him, for his youth and wisdom at the same time. He puts it all together. Bruce Camacho, the man, the myth, the legend. All right, I do. Oh, man. Dude, do you want me to put this on the air, this video that you sent me? I'm looking at it right now. I got to do it where I could turn down the sound because I don't know what the sound is, but... Oh, yeah, it's a drone for sure. Someone's rocking some drone in the morning in Garapan. It doesn't look anything too scary. It looks okay. Well, anyway, we'll roll on with that. That is crazy. It's not a UAP, you can totally tell. But I'll tell you, my favorite video or my favorite photo that you sent me was the mint chocolate ice cream where you're like, let the hate flow in you. Dude, that was hilarious after my rant about worst ice cream flavors. Yeah, mute it. All right, I did mute it. I'll make sure. I'll check it later. All right, man. All right, well, let's get to it. We are here this morning, Marianas, and we're happy because we've got a guest joining us in studio. And it's not one you normally get to see during the daytime because he works his butt off during the day. But you can really see him if you hang out at night, if you roll over to Last Shot sometime. We'll give a big welcome to, that is not who our guest is. I got to press this button again. I don't know why this camera does this. It's got one of these automatic things. I mean, don't get me wrong. It would be awesome if Roberta was here with us. But she's just not here with us right now. And not like she's not here with us anymore. I mean, like she's just not here today. Travis Jones.
Hey, good morning, Brad.
Thanks for coming here today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we are all caffeinated and ready to go.
I am very thankful. I was telling you when you came in and offered me, or when I came in and you offered me coffee and asked if I liked it black. I'm so used to drinking the sticks that I rarely get it straight black, and this is my first great morning cup of coffee in months.
Yes, well, that's one thing that we've got going for us. I'll tell you, I'll take it. That is what I need. I need that little positive reinforcement, like I'm getting something done right. So what's shaking, man? What's going on in the world?
Well, I think part of the reason I wanted to come and have the conversation was when you and Kathy stopped up at the bar for a little barbecue on Saturday. I got some exciting news. I know that there's been rumors going around that we were closing, that we were moving, that we were doing all kinds of stuff. And Friday morning, we got word that we get to renew our lease, so we're staying.
Yes, Last Shot Bar.
So everybody that thought we were moving to Garapan or we were moving somewhere else or we were closing down, we are not. And we are definitely staying in business. And now we're going to do some investing up there to make it better.
Man, that is the kind of news that people need to hear. Stuff like that, these stories. Man, hold on. Somebody's calling me this morning. 1 second. Please text me. By the way, if you guys want to call the show, my personal cell phone number does not work for the show. Unless you WhatsApp call me. But the number for the show is 670-789-2323. 789-2323. I got to look at the split cam. 789-2323. All right, folks. Yeah, man, that is great news. You know, you hear all these other stories about things that are going the other way for companies, and understandably so with what's going on with our economic situation. And it seems like we're not getting great news every day, but this is a little ray of sunshine. In fact, that should just be what I call you when you come into the studio.
Well, to me, it's a small victory, right? Because Shai and I have talked about this. We found out maybe 2.5 months ago that they weren't going to renew our lease. So we thought we'd look for a new place. We thought we didn't know what we were thinking because it came as such a shock. I never thought that day would ever come. And when it did come, we had no idea what to do. And after probably 6 weeks of looking and investigating and scouring the island for the perfect spot, we were convinced that we weren't just going to open another bar. it had to be something spectacular. It had to be something that we could work with. We found a place, and it became unavailable very quick. And then I always told Shai, everything works out for a reason. So we had kind of committed that we were going to close. And it just wasn't going to be smart money to invest right now, knowing the conditions of the economy. And after we had conceded, then we found another spot that slowly didn't work, and we decided to give up again. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, please renew your lease and stay with us. So now I think we're more excited than we possibly could have been. And I've had to do a lot of things up at the bar that I've wanted to do for the last year or so. But then when we found out we possibly might have to go, I didn't want to reinvest the money.
Yep.
And as soon as they told me that we could stay, I told Shai, I said, all right, that money that we were looking at possibly doing a remodel or a move or whatever it was, let's put it back into what we already got and make it better.
That's outstanding news. I love it. I know how great that is for you guys and your business. I love going to your place. I love hanging out, like going there on Sunday, you know, not even open, just to hang out, right? Because it's a great location. And, man, that was just such great news to hear that that's working out. But it also shows to me, like the things that were set in motion to make that happen, right? Like it was from the closure of something else where someone was able to get another spot, which opened up the opportunity for you to keep doing that. So small things can happen here. And then out of those challenges, like with what was going on, you know, good things can come out of it. So maybe that's reassuring for everybody else here.
Yeah, and the bar, we've talked about this 20 times. At the end of the day, the bar really makes no money. I've had that place for 5 years, and most people know because I'm pretty honest with my business. I don't hide much. I try to keep our prices low so that people keep coming. I don't think we've ever raised prices in the 5 years that we've been there. I've never paid myself. I probably work 30 or 40 hours a week, which was fine when a couple years ago I decided to kind of semi-retire and make that my job. But, you know, 8 months ago when everything got really rough, there was no choice. I had to go back to work. So, you know, we were talking about kind of stuff we read on social media and the state of the economy. I've always tried to stay super involved. And when it was time for me to get a job, I went out there and looked, and, you know, I've had a pretty amazing life. And when I started applying at some of the places here and got responses back that I was not qualified or underqualified, I found it almost ridiculous. And for years, people have asked me to go teach at NM Tech, which I'm not a teacher. I was an electrician. I've been in construction my whole life. And it got to the point where there wasn't a whole lot of options. So NM Tech is always looking for instructors. So I went there and I applied. They were looking for electrical instructors. So I applied. When I got there, I met Jodina on the first day of training certification, and she saw my resume, and we had our first conversation, and she said, we have an opening for a safety officer. Is there any chance you would come to work for us full time?
Wow.
I said, sure. And the next day she said, we're also struggling in our operations department. Is there any way you could help out? I said, sure. And what started as a part-time teacher has turned into a full-time job and something that I love. I mean, they've sent me to school. I'm now certified to teach OSHA 10 and 30 construction. I'm halfway through my OSHA 10 and 30 for general industry. I'm going to take that next class, I think November 17th through 20th. So I'm also certified to teach electrical and project management. There's a lot of things going on up there. There's lots of opportunities, and part of the reason that I can keep Last Shot going like we do is because I was given this blessing of a full-time job. Because without the full-time job, the bar doesn't stay open. It just physically, I was not replenishing my coffers as quick as I was spending. So I'm very grateful. And then I've had a chance to meet all these young people and adults that are taking these classes. I mean, the core class that they offer is basically construction fundamentals. And with everything that we got going on here, and the one thing that we do have is construction jobs. So really this class is designed for people that have no construction history they come in and they get the flavor for it. It's a couple months long. You get the basics, and then you can go tell an employer, I have the basics. I've learned how to use hand tools. I've learned how to use ladders. It's a great class, and people, that are afraid to go do stuff because they think it's going to be above them or they're not going to understand, we teach you to understand.
I was going to ask what the basics are. It's like, this is a hammer, and this is what you use to put this nail into that material. Like, I don't know, what is the basics for this? Because this sounds like...
Well, it's kind of weird. It's all through NCCER, which is the National Center for Construction Education Research. So all of these come out with a certification, and this is also a certification that is good around the world, right? That NCCER is recognized everywhere throughout the world. And really, it starts with the basics, and kind of a great thing, if you take this core class, starting in our spring semester here, or winter, I guess, whatever you would call it, the next one, you can come out and you're going to be OSHA 10 certified, because as long as the NCCER core instructor is certified to teach OSHA, you'll come out with a OSHA 10 certification. So what we're going to do is, some of the other instructors aren't certified to teach the OSHA class, so I'm going to teach the safety portion, and they'll come out with an OSHA 10. So these are all things that are great when you go to any employer.
How long is this class when you sign up?
2 months. I think it's about 2 months. A semester, whatever that is. And
it sounds like such a great program to send your high school kids through, over the summer.
And that some of them do that. We have kind of pre-construction and construction-ready classes. We're working with all the schools to obviously do that, and these kids need to have that option. I mean, I'm a product of an apprenticeship. I did not go to college. I was not in the military. I chose my electrical apprenticeship, and that's what got me here today. And I said, in the world that I used to live in, I would have never thought that being involved in education, and owning a bar, these little things, moving to Saipan and having all these dreams, and then they happen. It's kind of crazy how this stuff works out.
Well, so I'm a firm believer of it. After I heard it was Mara, boy, I can't remember her last name. Geez, I'm looking at his face. Anyway, this woman who is here, geez, why can't I not remember their last name? But she gave this presentation. She opened up this place, this business called Lays on Arrival. And she was speaking at the Rotary Club. This is maybe 20 years ago. And she said that what she loved, one of the things she loved about Saipan was that you have the ability to reinvent yourself as many times as you want. And to be able to experience what that is. So like what I'm doing here, right?
Yeah.
Like this is something like I probably, I definitely thought of this, talking into a microphone to people and stuff like that.
Right.
But I never could connect those dots like when I was a little kid, as I was recording the music off of the radio and then using that tape to play the music as I was recording myself. Hey, that was Madonna. Coming up next is the Thompson Twins. Here we go.
Yeah.
So back in the day. But you're able to do all this stuff, and you're doing this now, and you're going to be giving the training to folks so that they're going to be able to live out their dreams, or at the very least, they're going to be able to do stuff around their own houses, make them more productive for their families and all that. But definitely gives them a chance to get a great job afterwards.
Well, there's actually an electrical class going on right now. There's five local guys in it, and a couple of them I knew. And when I had a conversation with them on the first day of class, I said, "What's your goal?" And one of them actually said that. I just want to be able to work on the house so I understand how a light comes on or how this comes on. And now they're getting towards the end of their first session, and it's amazing what these guys are coming out talking about now. I'm not the instructor for that class. It's Mr. Romy that's doing it. But these guys are staying into it and learning. They're learning great stuff when I watch them bend pipe or I watch them do these things. But also part of it is, I've talked to the boss, is we have to keep the people engaged so that they go through all the levels. These guys started at level 1, and kind of what typically happens is what I've seen is you get 7 or 8 people in a level 1, but then when you get to level 4, there's only 4 left. Some people say, geez, we still got 4 going. I look at it as we had 4 leave. So to me, success is 100%. But it's getting involved with the students. It's making them want to learn this and having this outlook that at the end of the day, this is going to help you. This is not something that you're just forced to take, you think you should, you're going to get a good job out of this. And when I look at going through my electrical apprenticeship and now instruction, and this is the third business I've had, I'm not doing anything electrical. So it's kind of a springboard to whatever you want to do the rest of your life. And right now, when I look at a lot of things that are going on with the economy in the States, here, everywhere, the one thing that they're lacking is construction workers. Mm-hmm. And the money is still going to be there, albeit I know the government is shut down and all the bad things are happening. This is going to, we're going to come out of this, right? And there's going to be a time where when people are wondering what to do, educate yourself. Go to school, get an education, do what you can while you can, and there is going to be assistance for that, because that's one thing that will be supported always is apprenticeships and education.
Well, these are practical things that people are going to be able to use with their everyday lives. By the way, I saw some of the comments coming in, so I want to bring them out to you. A lot of people saying hi and everything like that. Good morning, Travis, and all that. And a lot of folks saying, and here's one of them, what an awesome journey, Travis. Talk about that. Tobot saying, hey, that would be really cool as a curriculum, talking about what you were just saying. They said they should be able to include a flat glass film installation class as part of the construction program. It will benefit them. Hey, there you go. And, there's so many great things that NM Tech does, and it really opens up great opportunities for people all throughout the Commonwealth. And, we're up against it. We're looking at 2029, no CWs, right?
Correct.
Now, will they come through at the end, and will we still have CWs? Who knows? Do you want to be that person? At least.
That's what I say, is that none of us, we can all speculate, right? And that does nothing. But what I've talked to our leadership at NM Tech or Department of Labor or the executive branch or the House, any of the people, I say it doesn't matter what our speculation is. What matters is we have to be training people today. And that's the other thing that's great is right now, I've talked to Jodina several times, is we need to get more adjunct instructors trained. We have lots of talented people on this island. We're looking for electrical, we're looking for HVAC, we're looking for welder, we're looking for electrical. I said what we have to do is if we end up with this influx of, say there's 300 students that want to be trained, right now we only got a couple teachers that are adjunct instructors. We need to get some of the guys. What I've talked to people about is like some of the CUC electricians or some of the. To me, I am an older guy. I'll be 56 in a week. I never thought I'd say that, but I'm the older guy that I'm talking about. The people that are getting ready to retire, what a great thing to be able to go up there and teach. It's a part-time thing. I think if you're doing one class, you probably end up with about 20 hours a week, and it's a perfect time filler, and the pay is decent. So I'm encouraging anybody that is wanting. I know Steve Lagas, I've talked to him 50 times.
Oh my God, yeah.
About he wants to be a welding instructor, and he missed the last class due to something came up, and as soon as it was done, he was kicking himself. So now I'm on him every week. Get your paperwork in because we're going to do an instruction in January.
You were talking about your certifications and all that stuff. And I could tell you guys about the dedication that this guy's got for all this, because he's got to take a lot of these night classes, like when I don't mean like an 8 p.m. night class, like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, something like that is what you have to be up for to take this stuff. So like he's working during the day and then knocking out early so he can wake up at like 1 o'clock or maybe staying up to do it. I don't know how you're handling it. Oh, geez, we got a call coming in. You want to take a call?
Sure.
All right, let's find out who we got. Holidays Ontario Road, thanks for calling the show. Who's this?
And to your guest there, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you guys?
Great to hear from you. Hope you had a great week so far.
I'm trying. With everything going on, I'm trying. I have to. I just want to throw in two things. One has to do with the nap, and it is sad to wake up early this morning and, in comparison, this is just in comparison of the responsibility of governmental agencies taking care of the local people. I was just in awe to know that legislators in Guam, with the request of the governor, they secured a $13 point some million for DAP and week for the month of November. That's unheard of, where all the 50 states and the territories are suffering, but Guam stepped up. And I was just, when you shared out that breaking news when the governor introduced the DAP will be receiving the debit card, so and so. But in comparison of what I do, my background, I looked at the dates of those letters to the legislator, Senate President, and the timing was impeccable because for me personally, and the one you shared from the federal government saying that the cinema will be affected, that was like October 10, if I'm not mistaken. So they knew ahead of time, and I feel that the governor wanted to throw the responsibility at the federal government, but he knew ahead of time. He could have just said, hey, we're going to distribute this out, but apparently there won't be any funds available because so. That wasn't explained. And here he comes out and breaking news and asking money from the Senate President and the legislators. But here's the thing. It's been a couple of days and there's no rebound into what he was asking for. So it made me conclude that, hey, there won't be no SNAP. Why? They can't even pass the budget that they're requesting from a loan from MPLT for $29 million plus. And on top of that, an additional almost $4 million for DAP just for the month of November. So, and then November 1st is just around the corner. Literally, I don't think it's going to happen, And second, I want to throw out that gentleman there. I didn't catch the show earlier to know his name. I'm sorry, but good morning.
Travis. He's there with you. He's still here.
Oh, Travis. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm hanging in there, like I said
You
earlier.
bet.
But I just want to irritate something that you were saying, and I support that. And here's the thing that the way this is just my perspective. The way I see NMI Tech, it could flourish to the dream that you're sharing, the possibilities for the locals. I mean, one great example, and it stood for 4,000 plus years, is the carving of the limestone. That took ingenuity, and that should be the example to the people here that if our ancestors can build something with no steel rod and stand the testament of time, what doubt you of your skills?
Yes, I agree.
And here's the thing that I'm throwing out, and I hope the people can hear me. It's time to take back MPLT. I am pushing a popular initiative to alter the Constitution in this upcoming election. I need help. I need over, I think, 9,200 signatures for this to go to the ballot. Why? I believe the Indigenous Affairs and the MPLT entity board members should not be appointed sitting position. That should be a voting position. Why? Here's one good example, and it makes no sense. PSS public school system board members are elected. Why is the commissioner an appointee? And it doesn't add up. And from my perspective, MPLT has been hijacked by all administration that's sat. Why? It never said, and I want to correct the governor publicly again when he came out, when asked by Tomas Manglonia, Governor, MPLT does not belong to the government. It belongs to the people. Since when was it that the government owned it? Apparently, there's no writing in the covenant or constitution that can back up the governor's statement. Why? I believe the way they've been hijacking is by appointing board members to sit there, and whenever the government lacks funds, like right now, let's just knock on the doors of these board members here. Well, that's the problem, and here's the beauty about us, the people taking back that constitutional positions. If we vote in people to sit and represent and protect the interests of the government, the people's money, and also the Indigenous Affairs, I tell you with no hesitation, MPLT can fund NMI Tech for the local people to take in this opportunity, programs that never been seen before. Why there's money for the local people? And that's the beauty about it, is there's no intervention by legislators to, cut this, cut that. No, It's directly, and that's where now that entity can sit down and negotiate. If you want a loan with us, then let's put in something on the table. The government cannot put nothing on the table. Why? Because they do not own any public land. We own it. Once we take control of MPLT, I'm telling you, the government will change, because they will have no other means but to literally, like in the States, when you're 18, you're an adult, go out there in the world. Well, they've been 18 years sitting there acting like a child. It's time for them to get up, cut that umbilical cord, and prove to us that you are capable of representing us into the new millennium, you know? That's how I think.
I like I say, you know, when you were talking, what I ended up doing, I looked something up, and I found this from it goes back a few years. This was from 2018, and this was with the Attorney General's office about a legal opinion that says, you know, he was given the historical background talking about MPLT. It was originally Article 11 of the Constitution, which created two entities involved in public lands, Marianas Public Land Corporation and MPLT. Said while MPLT was established as a permanent constitutional institution, MPLC was only guaranteed for 10 years. And then they start going into, you know, what the purpose is for all of these things. But you're looking at just changing it altogether, right?
Yes. Why? Because here, when we, the people, put up whoever we want from all districts, Saipan, Tinian, and Rota, then we take responsibility of our own decision, of our own interests, with our own money, not somebody else being elected to, you know, just, I mean, since when are we going to ever try our own money directly? It has to happen in order for that, and that's written in the Constitution. So this is the only option. I believe, me personally, I can't speak on behalf of the rest of the people, but me personally, I've been pushed to the wall to realize that, hey, why are you pushing me to crack through the wall when you have no reason to push me, when I own it?
Yeah, that's a great point. And because it is for the people, right? I mean, that's it.
Yeah. So, you know, in order for us to really put the merit to the meaning of the language written in the Constitution, then the only way right now I see is for us to take it back. When whoever sits there, all board members, and they elect the chair, there will be no bias. You know why? Because there's no government involvement.
No, well, I like this topic. I think it's really good. And when are you getting? Are you already going out there collecting signatures?
No, because there's a boo-boo here. I was talking to Ben Tyskens since last week, and he directed me to call the office of the treasurer, which I was directed, and spoke to a Miss Kit Dickinson. And apparently, I was told that my effort, it needs to be initiated by the Board of Election and Legal Service Response, because it has to do with Article 13, Section 4, A and B of the Constitution. Because here's the problem. It says in the Constitution that I need 50% of the registered total voters of the city of Maya. And that came out, and they gave me a number of 17,384. 50% of that is about 8,600 some. Now, aside from that, there is Article 13, Section 4, is saying that I need an additional 25% from Tinian and Rota district. So it's like, wait a minute, so you're saying it's going to be like 75% in a sense? It doesn't add up. So even the Board of Election is not clear on that section, because I brought out a very good point. I go, if this first section say I need 50% of the total, so that it included Tinian and Rota. Why is the Article 13 saying now I need an additional on the side? It makes no sense.
Yeah, I totally understand. Wow.
So right now, that's where I stand, and I got 8 months from now to submit 9,000 plus signatures by June, because it is 120 days according to the Constitution that I'm following to be passed by the Commission, certified by the Attorney General, and then put on the ballot and that I need by June of next year.
Yeah, well, let us know if you do start getting it. If you start putting it up, send it to us, so we'll put it out there for you.
And I wish you good luck.
Yep.
Thank you very much, and hey, Travis, I really support your endeavor, and thank you for supporting the local economy here. I guess it needs somebody from the outside to see from the inside the need for those people from the inside to step up, and what you're doing, I support you, man. And hopefully this can work out and entwine with your vision. And like I was saying, I see MPOT is the only entity that will make this possible for the people. Why? It has the money there, and the local people can benefit from that directly with no legislative matters.
Right.
That's great. Well, hey, thanks, Ray. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Ray. And so, I mean, just another person who supports what you guys are doing and trying to get more people in there, maybe get more funding for MPL or for NM Tech, which is pretty great. So we were talking about some of the construction stuff. We were talking about some of the electrical stuff, the programs that are available for NM Tech that folks can sign up for. They're about 2 months for each one of these courses.
Somewhere in there.
And is it like all year round, or is there like a summer break for NM Tech, or how does that work?
There's a summer break, but the summer break, then they bring in the PSS students. So they're doing pre-construction stuff. They're taking all these different short spurts of courses just to get them so that when they do graduate, that there's some options there. We have great culinary. I mean, Chef Naz. Naz is there.
Yeah.
He's got the culinary. We've got cosmetology. And, of course, we're building a new campus up there in Kobler, or down there, I should say.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. I see it when we're out there playing soccer, that's going to be the new home. And it looks great. I'm looking forward to the idea of, like you said, you got the PSS students that end up going in the summertime.
Yep.
When I was going to school, and one of the classes that we were able to take was tech ed.
Yeah.
Right. And so we got some of that in school. Like I learned how to use bandsaws, and I did some woodworking, worked with like engraving stuff and all that stuff while I was in there. We also had home ec, right?
Yeah.
So we got to learn some other basic
both.
stuff.
I took home ec and I took shop.
Yeah, I took home ec because, the only reason why you want to take home ec, right?
Because you want to learn to cook, right?
Yes, that was 100% it. There were a lot of girls in it.
Yeah.
But it was great. I learned how to sew through that, which helped me when I was in the service.
I made a pillow.
I made a puppet. I made a hand puppet. It was a bear that also had like a real cool little beard on it and everything. I don't know, see the things I learned in that's home ec.
I was there.
But tech ed, again, I remember this in even like we had it in high school, but we even had that in middle school. I remember taking tech ed. Again, bandsaws, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking, it was like a full-on shop is what we had for those classes. And I don't see that in the schools. I don't know if they have it in the mainland still, but
they may. I don't know. I've been detached from that for so long that I'm not sure. My kids, I had 2 girls, and neither one of them took shop class, so I don't know. But when you're talking about the bandsaws and everything, my dad's worst nightmare was when I took auto shop. One of it was small engines, and he donated his lawnmower for me to take apart and put back together. And it was his favorite old lawnmower. It was probably 20 years old. He gave it to me. I brought it to class and brought it home in a box.
Oh, no.
all the pieces were out. Everything was gone. And I said, maybe auto mechanics is not where I belong.
He probably was just rolling the dice. Maybe it's going to come back with a Hemi.
Yeah. He ended up with a new Toro or something at the time, whatever it was.
Maybe that was all part of his plan from the beginning.
Part of his plan to get my mom to say, yes, you can get a new lawnmower.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
But Brad, I don't know if you have to get to a break or what you have to do, but do you want to take a break?
Yeah, that's great. I just didn't know how long I got you.
And I want to talk about one more area that is kind of not highlighted.
Okay.
That I think is very important. So if you want to take a break, take.
Yeah, we're going to punch out. That sounds like a great idea. Folks, we're not going anywhere. We are going to take a break. We come back, we'll also get you the latest news update. So here's some messages from our sponsors. Give them some love, too. And we'll start off with Team Blue.
Hey, bro, can I grab your bush?
Yeah, man, go for it.
Right on. Thanks, bro. Hey, bro, can I grab your bush, too?
Sure, bro. Go ahead.
Thanks.
Now I can grab my own bush. Saipan, it's time to grab your bush. Pick up a 12-pack of ice-cold Bush, and you're in for more than just a refreshing beer. Every 12-pack gives you a chance to win exclusive Bush gear and more. So don't wait. Swing by your favorite store, grab your Bush, and join the fun. Because here in Saipan, the best moments are even better with Bush. Grab your Bush today.
AP News, I'm Haya Pinchwani. Israel will not allow Turkish troops to take part in an international force that the United States has proposed to oversee the ceasefire agreement in the Israel-Hamas war in Gaza. AP correspondent Ed Donahue reports Hurricane Melissa is expected to reach land in Jamaica.
Melissa is a powerful and dangerous Category 5 storm. It could be the strongest hurricane to hit the island since record-keeping began in 1851.
I have gotten so many calls, and I have been on my knees in prayer.
Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the people there are preparing for the hardship ahead. Earl Cameron lives in the capital, Kingston.
It's not a joke. It is very serious, guys, and it is going to be something different. The figures we think will be astronomical. Yeah, they will be hard to digest when this is over.
Parts of eastern Jamaica could get as much as 30 inches of rain.
Gathered as prayer warriors, as many have done, to pray for our nation.
Melissa has killed at least 6 people in the Caribbean. I'm Ed Donahue.
AP's Lisa Dwyer reports that a pig kidney recipient is now back on dialysis.
Tim Andrews lived with a pig kidney for a record 271 days before surgeons removed it last week as the organ's function declined. Doctors at Mass General Brigham says that Andrews is now resuming undergoing dialysis, calling Andrews a selfless medical pioneer. Andrews is among a handful of people who've received experimental transplants of gene gene-edited pig organs, which researchers hope might one day help alleviate a shortage of donated organs. More than 100,000 people, most needing kidneys, are on the U.S. transplant list. Thousands die waiting. Andrews remains on that list, although his blood type is hard to match. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
FIFA began the process of selling another 1 million tickets for next year's World Cup. The phase is open to all fans, regardless of which country they live in. This is AP News.
I'm Damian Troisi, and this is the AP Markets Report. Stocks rallied to more records on Wall Street Monday. The S&P 500 rose 1.2%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 0.7%. The Nasdaq Composite jumped 1.9%. Every major index added to records set on Friday. The gains kick off a week packed with potentially market-moving news. The Federal Reserve will make its next announcement on interest rates on Wednesday. Traders expect another cut to interest rates. Wall Street hopes that a meeting between the heads of the U.S. and China on Thursday will ease trade tensions. Some of Wall Street's most influential companies will report their latest profits this week, including Amazon and Apple. Damian Troisi, New York.
Hard-hitting former Raiders safety George Atkinson, who struck fear in the opposition, has died. He was 78. The Raiders said Atkinson's family informed the team of his death today. The team said he died in Georgia without revealing a cause of death. I'm Haya Panjwani, AP News.
Wake up, sunshine, it's a brand new day. Brad's got the stories that'll light your way. Take a smile on his face, he's ready to share. Share. Good morning, Marianas. Feel the love in the air. Yeah. Good morning, Marianas. Come join the fun. Together we'll shine like the morning sun.
With the waves crashing in, hear the oceans call. Brad brings the news that connects us all. From the islands to the world, those kind of wish. Good morning, Marianas, the best time of year.
Good morning, Marianas. Let's start the day. With laughter and stories, come what may. Nina's kitchen, so delicious. I need a burger and
I mean, it's a good jam, right?
Great jam.
This is Jordan Paradise, and this is only a little piece of it. But when we sampled, we got to sample this project he was working on for Ina's Kitchen. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna loop this right now because I think this is what America needs right now. America needs a leader in lunchtime food. And the only thing that would make Ina's Kitchen better is if they were available on the weekends for breakfast. If I could eat some of that breakfast, like the lunch special, but I could throw a couple of eggs in there on top of the rice, oh man, forget it. Like, I don't know if I'd ever leave. I might move in. I saw that there's like either apartments or offices upstairs. I might look into doing that. Like, I don't know. I think it's worth maybe considering. Anyway, Travis Jones is still with us here in studio, and he is listening about my Ina's Kitchen addiction, which is coming to a stomach near you. But we've been talking about all kinds of stuff, but I know that you got some stuff that you want to hit to before we get out of here, too.
Yeah, I think part of it was that I wanted to talk about is the small step that we just had, right? The great news that we just had that we can stay.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that some people are going to look at that. I know how people look at business owners sometimes. They think that there's money involved. There's all kinds of this stuff, that you're privileged, that you have this. I just want to kind of go back to I'm celebrating my good news, but the last 8 months, and again, I'm not afraid to talk about a lot of this stuff. I have to think of what we did. Shai used to be a teacher. We needed somebody to manage the bar. We could not afford to pay somebody for 40 hours a week to do that. So she stopped teaching. She does manage the bar for 40 hours a week, but we can pay her 20 hours a week. We don't have any car loans. No motorcycle loans. I refuse to keep loans. We can't afford to have anything over and above. We had to move out of the house that we were living in and move into the bar. So we live in a 300 square foot apartment. And I got to show you and Kathy. We're proud of it. It's
great.
But when I look at being 56 years old in a week, If I would have ever thought that I was living in a 300 square foot apartment, and it's not because now it's because I want to, but the reason I moved in there was because we had to. We simply could not afford to have a business without living there. And then now I got this job at NM Tech. 2 weeks ago, we're on austerity too. So, and it might not seem like much, or it might seem like a lot, but when I went back to work to fund the bar, now I'm also short 4 days a month, and I'm not complaining, because as soon as it came up, I said, I'm in. Whatever I have to do my part, that's what I'm going to do. And Shai and I talk about this every day. You know, we go to bed at night, and I said part of my prayer every day is that we can be better people. Whatever I have to do, whatever Last Shot Bar has to do, whatever Shai and I have to do as a couple, that's what we're going to do. We are not leaving. We're going to keep giving. I mean, 12.5% of everything that bar makes goes to taxes. And you know what I do? I pay my taxes. It seems like every other day I'm at the tax place paying. But Brad, you and I have talked about it. People don't understand that bar alone, my fixed overhead is $8,000 a month. And right now my sales are 40% of what they were 2 years ago. And I've lowered my direct cost every way that we possibly could just to not close that bar. And so right now, if you get, and the $8,000 a month doesn't include the alcohol that we buy. That can be anywhere from $2,000 to $6,000 more on top of that. But I consider that kind of a revolving, you pay and then you pay up front, and then it might take 3 weeks to get your money back, but you get your money back. And everything else is a fixed cost, which is rent, which is utilities, which is insurance, which we don't skimp out on anything. Everything that we have to have, and I'm not complaining, it is what it is. But to think that we don't struggle to keep that open, we absolutely struggle every single day. When Shai and I talk about what we're having for dinner, we don't go out to eat. We don't, although sometimes I wonder, you can go to some of the places and get a $6 plate. I know that we can't fix dinner for $6 a person, but there's commitment to it, and there's levels. How many of us? I mean, since you've been in business for yourself, you know what these costs are. When you think about how many friends of mine are business owners that are going back to work now to try and support their business. I mean, Derek's talking about it. Steve did it. A lot of people are having to go back to work because they refuse to give up their business. And I've always said that to me, that's a great commitment, and it's our sign. We've all also said that we're not leaving. We're going to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. And you'll also never hear me, for lack of a better word, bitching that much. I always think that if I haven't done my part, I have no complaint. If I'm not up somebody's ass or in their ear about what I think needs to change, then I'm not doing my part, and I don't have the right to complain. I'm not on social media much. I put stuff out for the bar and maybe wish some happy birthdays, but kind of what I do, and it's my own personal belief, is that I need to get in people's ears, and I'm not afraid. I'm going to ask hard questions. I'm going to do this stuff, and I'm also not going to bitch. I have to be the difference.
Well, and you are doing it, man, and I love it. And you're absolutely right. You know, one of the benefits of having a business that's not making a lot of money is you don't have to pay as much taxes. That's my experience. But it's about the belief. Like I know what you're talking about. Like I've seen it. I've seen it. I've experienced it with you. You know, hearing you talk about it. About like having a job to keep your business alive. Like how hard is just the concept of that, right? And so that's why, like, what I'm trying to do for me, like, I don't want to have another job to support this business. So I'm trying to find different ways that work for this business to bring more money in.
Yeah.
And that's why we ended up doing the, that's why we got the website launch and all that other stuff, to find other ways to bring that in. Because if I was to go back and get a job, like, I don't think I can go back and get a dancing job today.
You could just make no money like me doing it.
There we go. I'm going to have to take another job to pay for the job that's helping keep my business alive.
Yeah. And that's kind of what we always talk about, is that it's a commitment, right? And we had thought we conceded and that we were going to close, and now we're more excited than ever. I know full well that it's going to cost me some money. And it's money that I don't have, quite frankly. It's money that's going to make me keep working longer. I have 3 years left until I can get my IRA, which is going to mean nothing. I still have 3 years left to get through this. And part of what I wanted to bring up too is that we have great customers. We're 99% local customers. Our ability to have the big parties is what keeps us alive. We get a birthday party that will have 50, 60, 70, up to 200 people. And last week we had one of our NM Tech employees had her birthday party up there Thursday night. It was a surprise party. And then Saturday night we had the Mafudi fishing guys. There are 50 or 60 of the guys there, whatever it was. That's what keeps us alive. So if we have 2 or 3 or 4 of those a month, that keeps our doors open. Mm-hmm. That's what, when I talk to the other bar owners and we say, how do you get through the $200 and $300 sales nights? Is we have the ability to book these parties that if it wasn't for those 3 nights a week, we're losing horribly. And that's what keeps us alive. And I said, it's our repetitive customers that keep coming back, that keep us alive. That's why I do as much as we can, even like darts and pool. It's kind of funny when everybody thinks that if you have dart teams or pool teams that you're making all this money. Mm-hmm. I've seen the difference from 5 years ago to today. It's most of the same people playing, but I see how the spending has changed. And that's why we refuse to raise our prices. We don't charge for ice. We don't. We have to stay as competitive. I heard there's people who
charge for ice.
I've had people. Actually, my bartender plays in one of the dart leagues, and she came back and said, "Boss, we have to pay for ice." And I said, I get it, and I totally get it. But I've always said that everybody has to do what they have to do to stay in business. They don't have to do what I have to do. And every little bit counts. But I've always said, if I raise my bucket prices by $2, people will go back to drinking in their backyard. And they may not have a pool table, but I have to keep it affordable, and I have to keep the local people coming in. It's about volume. It's not about making on one beer. But back to like darts or pool, when I do the sponsorships, I'm happy to sponsor as many as I can and get as many people in there as I can. And I'll give, instead of a 5-beer bucket, I'll give a 6-beer bucket for the happy hour price. But like when it comes to the uniforms and all that stuff, we don't have food, so I don't have the ability to give away free food. Mm-hmm. And even the uniforms, quite honestly, at the end of the day, that would be my personal money paying for the uniforms, because we don't generate enough income off of that to pay the $300 or $400 per team. As much as I would love to, it literally doesn't generate the revenue to be able to do that.
Wow, we just got an update that said it looks like a car caught fire in front of Moon Knight in CK. Ooh. Wow. So I'm just asking if that's happening right now or if that's something that happened a little bit earlier. Sorry, but thank you guys for sending that info. Man, but I know, I get that. And like if, so from the VFW side, right?
Yeah.
Like something apples to apples. So we've had people like, hey, can we have the event there? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
How much for the event space? We're not going to charge you for it. We don't have food, so you can bring your food and all that other stuff. Well, can we bring in like coolers? I'm like, no.
Right.
What are you thinking?
Right.
Like, dude, we can give you the space, and you can bring your food in, but you can't also bring in your own beer. This is like this is the bar. Like, this is not the organization VFW. They were just talking about the bar itself, right?
Right.
Like, yeah, you can't do that.
Well, we've talked about this a dozen times. I've talked to many of the other bar owners about it too, and of course we want to give everybody the value. That's what we say. We give them the lowest price we possibly can while still being able to pay for toilet paper, water, napkins, straws, ice, everything else that goes along with it. But we just ask that you buy our product, and I've actually told friends of mine that have said, can we do this? Can we do this? And I've always said, you don't go to a restaurant and bring a sandwich.
Yep.
Why would you ask if you can bring in your own alcohol? I understand if it's some high-end bottle of Blue Label for $250 that I don't keep behind the bar, then we can work that out.
Yeah.
But for a rail bottle of vodka, let me at least make a few bucks to keep paying the bartender. And I'm down to one bartender, And I do my best to give April 40 hours a week, every hour. I would rather, and Shai sacrifices her hours so that April can get her hours. And I look at keeping this bar open. The money that comes in keeps her family alive. April's got 3 kids that she's got to support. That's all part of having our business. I don't know. And it's not a downer either. I never complain about what I got going on. It's just the truth. And if people know the truth, don't look at it as me complaining. What I'm going to do tomorrow is I'm going to work harder. I'm going to work longer. I'm going to do it smarter. I just have to do. I can't sit there. I won't accept failure doing nothing. It would be easy to fail and sit in a recliner and say, well, it just failed. You have to do your part.
Yep, that is 100% it, and that's why, like, even if you disagree with people politically and stuff like that, when people have jobs, like everybody who runs for office, they automatically get a baseline level of respect from me because of that. They are not going to just talk about what's happening. They want to be a part of fixing whatever it is that they think they want to fix.
Right.
They're putting themselves out there. They're opening themselves up to scrutiny and maybe ridicule from people, but they care enough to put themselves out there to be a part of whatever the solution is for what they think, whatever the problem is.
Yeah.
And the people who just complain about stuff, it's not productive. I know that people need to vent sometimes, and that's cool. And that might be helping them with their sanity for a little bit. But outside of that, it's not productive, right?
Yeah.
It's not a productive behavior for them to move forward.
And, to me, I do it every week with people in legislature or Senate or even the executive branch. I bet it's 3 days a week that I send a message, how can I help? What can I help with today? And I said, I might sound like a woodpecker on a cedar tree, but until I get kind of my rank and file and my direct orders of how I can help, I'm going to keep asking. And the day that I stop asking, again, is the day that I get to stop complaining. But to me, everybody's been very responsive. I can get a hold of people that will respond to me in 5 minutes saying, thank you. I may not have something for you to do today, but you're motivating me to get this stuff done. And I said, where else other than a small island, when we talk about coming from Wisconsin, I didn't know the people that were on my school board. I didn't know an assemblyman. I didn't know a congressman. I didn't know a senator. And by far and away, there was no way that I was ever meeting the governor or anybody up that high. And here, you get to see these people on a regular basis, so you get to be kind of an ass. And you can push the buttons and you can ask the questions. That's a good thing about it is, then especially if people say they're going to do something to me, I hold them to it just like I do to myself. If I tell them I'm going to do something, you can damn well bet that I'm doing it.
So that's one of the best things about Saipan to me, but not just Saipan, but the CNMI as a whole.
Yeah.
It's not so big where people can leave your reach, right? So you're within the grasp of everybody, whether it's for a conversation or for a topic or for keeping yourself in check from just being an ass, right?
Yeah.
So like I'm with you. I didn't know, like, I knew my county executive, I knew like the state governor, but like all the other smaller positions and all that other stuff, or everything less or lower than that.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
And a lot of times you might know some of those people just by happenstance, where it's a relative of somebody or a friend of somebody else. It's not, you don't run into them in general public. You never would see that person, and they'd be so filled with layers of security that you wouldn't even have a chance. And you really just you get numb to it. You know that's, I don't get to call the governor or lieutenant governor and hash out my daily nonsense. That's just not even an option.
So like that's what. So I gave an interview to this guy. I want to say like maybe it was 10 years ago. Who was writing a book called The Not Quite United States of America or something like that, talking about all the territories and all that.
Yeah.
And I told him that being here made me a better American, and by that meaning like I was more engaged in what's happening with the government and in the community and stuff like that.
I agree.
As like, hey, I know I'm friends with the governor on Facebook, and I can talk to them about that stuff, and I want to know about that stuff, and not to be overbearing about any of that stuff. I'm not the expert about all that stuff, but you can actually be a part of it. You can have something to do with it. You don't have to sit there and say, man, how come that lot over there is all grown over? Why is there trash there all the time? You can be part of that and help do that. And if you aren't getting the results that you want, you can run and be a part of that stuff. And you can continue to be a voice in the ears of the people who are taking that thing, right? I love that this place offers that. And it's like, that's why I think it's like the perfect size community.
It is.
And that's why I stayed.
And it also, if I take a long look back at how I got here, I grew up in a Democratic family. My dad was a union electrical contractor. Then I went into my apprenticeship. I was in the union. Strictly Democrat. In Wisconsin, labor was Democrat. And then as I blossomed out and became a business owner, I realized that the Republican beliefs were more aligned with my beliefs. Mm-hmm. So I flopped over, and when I had my kids, my daughters are 27 and 24, it was very important to me that they understood politics. And it was very important to me that they understood what voting meant. Voting is your right. Voting is everything. Again, you don't vote, you get no right to complain.
Yes.
You have to do this. So one of my two daughters now is still an avid political follower. The other one, not so much. And I kind of understand. She just said, I can't even look at a lot of this stuff. And she said, I don't really know what's true and what's not true, so it's hard to follow. But here, and again, we've talked about it, it's very hard for me. I think in the States, I'm still a Republican at heart. I believe in Republican values. But that doesn't necessarily hold true on this island, I don't believe. I also, moving here, gave up my right to vote for the President of the United States, which was, to me, that was one of the most endearing things about being an American, was every year, every 4 years, I could vote. When I moved here, this year, this next coming election is going to be the first one that I'm going to register to vote, because being a business owner, a bar owner especially, the fundraising is going to start. I never wanted to vote because I had to be on the fence. If I support Republican, to me, it's not even the party, it's the candidate. If I support this person, I might lose this person as a customer. If I support this person, I might lose that. But this upcoming season, what I've said is to anybody that's a possibility, give me a plan. Give me your plan. I want somebody to tell me something that makes sense. Then I'm going to stand behind that, and I'm going to push it, and I'm going to vote for that person at the cost of customer. I have to do what's right for this island. It's not about me losing 20 customers because they're a different party. And that doesn't mean that I don't believe in other stuff that people are doing. Somebody point me in a direction where I can help, where I can push. It's crazy to me that this place has that. But I'm going to do my part.
And it's great that you can. Hey, it reminds me, when I think about politics, I think about this quote from Chris Rock in one of his stand-up specials. Years ago, he used to have the best stand-up specials. Anyway, he's like, no normal, decent person is just one thing, right? I got some stuff I'm conservative about. Got some stuff I'm liberal about. Yeah. Crime, I'm conservative.
Right.
Prostitution, I'm liberal. that was the funny part. But I'm with them on the same thing. Like, some things you can be conservative about, some things you can be liberal about. It's a mix of views. And you can't just be one thing. And if you are, I think you're just closed-minded.
Yeah.
And then, especially like a lot of the people who I've seen who are the most vocal about things, about complaining and all that, are the folks who just say, I'm just saddled up with this team and that's it. Mm-hmm. Everyone else on the other side is just wrong. And it's not productive at all. It's toxic more than anything.
It's very much so. And, ultimately, at the end of the day, you and I have talked about this before, I don't really care. What I have to do, I'm not going to focus on what somebody else thinks or what somebody else does. What I'm going to focus on every single day is, what do I have to do to make this work? It's not going to be, what does this person have to do, or what does this congressperson have to do, or what does this other person have to do to make my life better? I'm responsible for my life. That's it, period. And even before I take off here, we got to talk about one of the reasons I came in here was to have that conversation about a lease renewal celebration. And then when Brad and Kathy came up on Saturday night, whatever it was, I decided we were going to have our lease renewal party on my birthday, November 7th. We usually have a birthday party for me every year up there. And so far, every year Marvin De Leon Guerrero has played. Marvin has graciously accepted again to play. So Friday night, November 7th, we're going to have my birthday party. And then we found out that it's Brad's birthday on the 9th. So I said, why don't you guys join? So I think we're going to do a co-venture here.
Yes.
We're going to have what are your 51 going to be?
Yep.
I'll be 56. We're getting closer to retirement. We're closer to retirement age, not closer to retirement. How about that?
Yes.
But we said, let's celebrate this thing because there's so many negatives, and especially in your business, you get a lot of people focused on that stuff and you get to hear about it. Mm-hmm. We have to celebrate the small victories. And by having a birthday party, Shai and I were sitting there last night saying, what are we going to do for food? How are we going to do this? Kathy said she'd bring a cake. I said, let's just come up and drink and listen to Marvin play and let's dance. Let's do everything to make us forget about everything that's going wrong, and let's celebrate something fun.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what I'm looking forward to. So that's going to be Friday, November 7th. Give us a reason to sleep in on Saturday, November 8th. and figure out how we're going to do stuff on the 9th. But I'm looking forward to it. Over at Last Shot Bar, there's no cost to get in there, right? I mean, so people could just go in there. You get to listen to this stuff, celebrate with us, have a little bit of fun. We'll have the cake. We'll have some chow, I'm sure, because these abs aren't going to grow themselves.
And usually when Marvin's playing up there for my birthday, there's always the chance that I'm going to sing I Love This Bar.
Nice.
And there's always opportunity that somebody else is going to fill in at the karaoke and Marvin's stand. I always look at Marvin as one of the greats to work with because every time someone says, Marvin, can I sing this song? As long as I have a full beer behind him, Marvin's good at taking a little break.
Nice.
But we have fun.
All right. Well, hey, Joseph, I got you on here, but we were going to try to wrap up.
Yep.
But let me just try, see, Joseph, I can get you on here for just about a minute before we get out of here. Good morning, Joseph. How are you?
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Regarding the U.S. government shutdown, knowing that it is the most super economic power nation on earth, and frankly, I would use all those politicians that cost even the sitting 47 pedophile president that caused the government to shut down. It's sad for the in the face of the earth for other nations in terms of what is going on in America. And Mike Johnson should start preparing himself to swear in that Arizona representative, because she will unveil all the 30,000 pages, photos, whatever, with the 47 pedophile sitting president of the country. We need to fix this. We need someone with reputation. Even for those politicians, both Democrats and Republicans, I blame them because they have their own special interests. And guess what? That billionaire guy that is going to bail out $130 million for the U.S. military, that's a clear cut of bribery for the sitting president of the country.
Yeah, we got to get him to just sponsor our show. If we can get him to do that, we'll be happy. I hear what you're saying. Hey, Joseph, we're just about to wrap up, and we're going to send Travis. He's got to get to work, and I've got to get to this interview I've got with the folks from DPS. Can we get anything from you, like a real quick shout-out, though, first?
Oh, yeah. I heard about a close date birthday between you and him. Why not? I like to get involved, see what I can bring to help join in, and yeah.
That's how my wife actually said to me last night. She said, what if we start the party at 7 and tell people to eat dinner before they come? And I said, that's a perfect thing to say, but the first thing they're going to say when they get there is, where's the food? Yeah. What can I bring? So whether I say don't bring food or not, people are going to be bringing food. We're going to be drinking, we're going to be partying and dancing, so come and join us.
That will be great. Yeah, awesome. Yes, sir.
Awesome. Hey, thanks for calling this morning. I hope you have a great day today.
Yeah, I've been watching you guys as soon as when you started up until before I make my phone call.
I appreciate it. We're just up against the end of the show, but Joseph, thanks for calling and thanks for being here. And I hope you have a great one today.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you for both.
Take care. And that goes to everybody. Travis, thank you for coming in today. And man, this is a bonus. I didn't know how long you were going to be with us today, but it felt like just more like a co-host hanging out. Maybe we do that next time. We'll just talk about what's going on.
Well, as always, for our party night at Last Shot Bar, it's no shirt, no shoes, no problem. That goes for men and women.
I love it. All right, guys.
Thanks for having me, Brad.
Yeah, thank you. All right, guys. So that's going to wrap our show today. We're going to get you out of here. I will play the latest news update. Let me just make sure that we are good to go, and it looks like we are. So, folks, thanks for tuning in today. And, it's fun is that when I made the transition a little bit earlier, we only had I was on both of the cameras at the same time. So PJ's like, hey, I see two Brads. I'm like, you're welcome. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Here's the latest from the Associated Press. And we'll be back again tomorrow morning with another edition of Good Morning Marianas. And after this, we're going over to DPS and check out those cool new motorcycles that they got. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Travis. And we'll see you guys in a little bit.
AP News, I'm Haya Pinchwani. Israel will not allow Turkish troops to take part in an international force that the United States has proposed to oversee the ceasefire agreement in the Israel-Hamas war in Gaza. AP correspondent Ed Donahue reports Hurricane Melissa is expected to reach land in Jamaica.
Melissa is a powerful and dangerous Category 5 storm. It could be the strongest hurricane to hit the island since record-keeping began in 1851.
I've gotten so many calls, and I have been on my knees in prayer.
Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the people there are preparing for the hardship ahead. Earl Cameron lives in the capital, Kingston.
It's not a joke. It is very serious, guys, and it is going to be something different. The figures we think will be astronomical. Yeah, they will be hard to digest when this is over.
Parts of eastern Jamaica could get as much as 30 inches of rain.
Gathered as prayer warriors, as many have done, to pray for our nation.
Melissa has killed at least 6 people in the Caribbean. I'm Ed Donahue.
AP's Lisa Dwyer reports that a pig kidney recipient is now back on dialysis.
Tim Andrews lived with a pig kidney for a record 271 days before surgeons removed it last week as the organ's function declined. Doctors at Mass General Brigham says that Andrews is now resuming undergoing dialysis, calling Andrews a selfless medical pioneer. Andrews is among a handful of people who've received experimental transplants of gene-edited pig organs, which researchers hope might one day help alleviate a shortage of donated organs. More than 100,000 people, most needing kidneys, are on the U.S. transplant list. Thousands die waiting. Andrews remains on that list, although his blood type is hard to match. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
FIFA began the process of selling another 1 million tickets for next year's World Cup. The phase is open to all fans, regardless of which country they live in. This is AP News.
I'm Damian Troisi, and this is the AP Markets Report. Stocks rallied to more records on Wall Street Monday. The S&P 500 rose 1.2%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 0.7%. The Nasdaq Composite jumped 1.9%. Every major index added to records set on Friday. The gains kick off a week packed with potentially market-moving news. The Federal Reserve will make its next announcement on interest rates on Wednesday. Traders expect another cut to interest rates. Wall Street hopes that a meeting between the heads of the U.S. and China on Thursday will ease trade tensions. Some of Wall Street's most influential companies will report their latest profits this week, including Amazon and Apple. Damian Troisi, New York.
Hard-hitting former Raiders safety George Atkinson, who struck fear in the opposition, has died. He was 78. The Raiders said Atkinson's family informed the team of his death today. The team said he died in Georgia without revealing a cause of death. I'm Haya Pinchwani, AP News.
Fox Sports Update.
Are the Colts the best team in the NFL? They're the first to 7 wins, topping the Titans 38-14 Sunday. On the other end of the spectrum, there won't be a winless team in 2025.
Boy, thought about it, now tosses to the end zone, and he's got
Taylor for the Jets touchdown.
Courtesy CBS, Breece Hall with the option pass to Mason Taylor, giving the Jets their first win, 39-38 over the Bengals. It's first-year head coach Aaron Glenn's first career win. Earlier in the day, the Jets announced that former All-Pro center Nick Mangold passed away on Saturday from complications of kidney disease at just 41 years old. Mangold played his entire 11-year career with New York, helping the team to back-to-back AFC championship games. Drake May and the Patriots shook off a slow start to beat the Browns 32-13 for their fifth straight win. The Broncos also won their fifth in a row, 44-24 over the Cowboys. The Bucs rolled to win number 6, 23-3 over the Saints. The Bills came off their bye by pounding the Panthers 40-9, ending a 2-game skid. Saquon Barkley ran for 150 yards, scored twice as the Eagles blew out his former team, the Giants, 38-20. The Texans upset the Niners 26-15. The Ravens dropped the Bears 30-16, despite again being without quarterback Lamar Jackson. And the Dolphins dropped the Falcons 34-10.
It's Will Kane Country. Watch it live at noon Eastern, Monday through Thursday at foxnews.com or on the Fox News YouTube channel. And don't miss the show. Listen and follow the podcast 5 days a week at foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
College football news. According to multiple reports, LSU firing head coach Brian Kelly after Saturday's 49-25 home loss to Texas A&M. The Tigers were a preseason top 10 team but fell out of the rankings on Sunday. NASCAR's Championship 4 is set.
William Byron is going to Phoenix.
Courtesy NBC Sports, Byron took the checkered flag at Martinsville, joins Denny Hamlin, Chase Briscoe, and Kyle Larson in the Final Four champion to be crowned next Sunday at Phoenix Raceway. And the World Series resumes Monday with Game 3 in Los Angeles, 8 p.m. Eastern on Fox. Blue Jays and Dodgers tied 1-1. 40-year-old Max Scherzer gets the start for Toronto against Tyler Glasnow for the Dodgers. It's Game On with the Fox Sports app, available wherever you download apps. I'm Tim McMaster.
Get more on the Fox Sports app and foxsports.com.
If you see something, say something, and stay anonymous. Call Crime Stoppers at 234-7272 or submit a tip online at nmicrimestoppers.com. No names, no caller ID, no recordings, just your info. And if your tip leads to an arrest, you could earn up to $1,000 in cash. Your tips have helped take hundreds of criminals off the streets in the NMI. It works because of you. Crime Stoppers, we want your information, not your name. PHI is your local pharmacy serving customers in Cagman, Garapan, and Dandan since 1996. Shop PHI Pharmacy for all your prescriptions, and we even offer a large line of multivitamin supplements. Our Dandan location is open weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 4 on weekends. Or visit our Garapan and Cagman locations weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 1 on Saturdays. Check us out online at phipharmacy.com or follow us on Facebook. PHI is a locally owned independent community Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
It's the 12 bags of Christmas from Bud Light to you. Buy a pack here at home, win big prizes too. Gather your friends, the season is here. It's the 12 bags of Christmas from Bud Light.
The 12 weeks of cheers are on. Purchase any 12-pack of Bud Light, Budweiser, or Michelob Ultra cans now through December 19th for your chance to win a trip for two to watch your favorite NFL team live, plus weekly prizes. Details at currentcnmi.com.
A courtroom change for an accused killer. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The man charged in the death of conservative activist Charlie Kirk will be allowed to wear civilian clothes to court after the defense argued dressing like an inmate could affect presumption of innocence because of jury pool exposure to so much pretrial publicity. Utah 4th District Judge Tony Graff granting a defense motion on the clothes, but also denying a motion that Tyler Robinson not have to appear in shackles.
The safety of Mr. Robinson, the attorneys, court staff, and the public must remain the court's highest priority. The emotional nature of these proceedings also raise the risk of disruption.
The judge did order media restrictions on showing the restraints. Food assistance benefits are set to end this Saturday as a government shutdown continues.
Well, you're talking about 42 million Americans who will no longer have access. The lines at the food banks are already lined up. Talked to a Nevada food bank today. They are already out of their supply for the month. I mean, it is really...
Also telling Fox, Senate Democrats can reopen government by supporting a short-term spending bill. Democrats in in Congress argue health care issues should be addressed as part of that, not after it, especially Obamacare tax credits expiring this year. A slow-moving disaster is heading for Jamaica as Hurricane Melissa intensifies.
When we look at what this season has featured in this part of the Atlantic Basin, it's had nothing but time to warm all season. So that's one of the reasons why we saw this extreme rapid intensification over the weekend, where it went from a 70-mile tropical storm, 70-mile-an-hour tropical storm, to a Category 4 hurricane.
Fox Weather Stephen Morgan. Melissa has since grown to a Category 5 storm ahead of a possible Jamaica landfall tomorrow. America is listening to Fox News. President Trump arriving in Tokyo earlier today, meeting with Japan's new...
It's Will Kane Country. Watch it live at noon Eastern, Monday through Thursday at foxnews.com or on the Fox News YouTube channel. And don't miss the show. Listen and follow the podcast 5 days a week at foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
Prime Minister
Sanae Takaichi, who became Japan's first female prime minister last week, is Shinzo Abe's protege, and she hopes that relationship and also a pledge to ramp up defense spending will endear her to President Trump as Japan struggles to uphold a deal made by the previous administration to invest more than $500 billion, that's about 10% of Japan's economy, into the U.S. to avert higher than 15% tariffs.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich in Tokyo. Under the current deal, the White House gets to pick which investments Japan has to enact. There have also been reports that South Korea may have trouble with its investment pledge as the president heads next to a summit in South Korea, where he's expected to meet on the sidelines with China's president. Hope for a de-escalation of trade tensions with China, helping to rally stocks today, a record close for the Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ. A possible breakthrough in the search for the thieves who stole crown jewels from the Louvre Museum.
2 of what are thought to be 4 thieves responsible for the robbery arrested over the weekend and in custody. The suspects are now being grilled at a police headquarters. At least 1 detained, trying to fly out of the country as the search for the $100 million worth of French crown jewels is intensifying. The fear is the crooks will break up the jewels and sell them off. Specialized investigators are combing through 150 pieces of forensic information. DNA already played a key role in the weekend arrests. This as another investigation is in full swing about how security at the museum was so lax. The 2 detained suspects can be held until Wednesday night before being charged or released.
Fox's Greg Palcott. A federal judge has just decertified a class action by Apple customers who accuse the company of monopolizing the market for iPhone apps by banning purchases outside the App Store. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Good morning, Marianas. So many things we gotta discuss. Happy day, Tirawami and greetings. To Rhoda, Guam, Saipan, and Tinian. For all your island news. From a beautiful place with Pacific views. It's always so much fun on Good Morning Marianas.
You owned your car for 4 years. You named it Brad. You loved Brad. And then you totaled him. You two had been through everything together. 2 boyfriends, 3 jobs. You're like, nothing can replace Brad. Then Liberty Mutual calls. And you break into your happy dance.
If you sign up for Better Car Replacement, we'll pay for a car that's a model year newer with 15,000 fewer miles than your old one. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.